Antarctica, a continent with the harshest and driest climate on our planet. Endless snow, glaciers, and the cold waters of the Southern Ocean hide numerous mysteries that scientists try to unravel. Despite the extreme conditions, sometimes they succeed in doing so. In this video, you will learn about the most incredible discoveries in Antarctica. Enjoy watching. In 2022, passengers on a cruise liner witnessed an unusual spectacle. About 1,000 whales gathered near the coasts of Antarctica. Such a massive gathering of these giants had never been seen before. The gathering mainly consisted of fin whales. Adult fin whales can reach up to 24 meters in length, second only to the blue whale. There were so many of these marine inhabitants that the people on board the liner could smell their breath, which has an unpleasant odor similar to rotting broccoli cabbage. But what attracted such a large number of whales? It turns out that at the time, there was a significant upwelling, where water from the depths rises to the surface. This phenomenon caused a massive gathering of krill, attracting the whales. Of course, such an abundance of food does not happen often, so the sea giants could not miss it. It is worth noting that the krill gatherings attracted not only whales but also other marine inhabitants and even birds. Gathering data on seasonal temperature changes at depth in the icy ocean is very challenging. Previously, special anchors with sensors were used for this purpose. This method was quite inconvenient and labor-intensive, so scientists looked for an alternative and found one. They decided to enlist seals, for whom diving into cold water is part of life. Researchers attached sensors to the heads of 8 seals, measuring water temperature, salt levels, and other indicators. Thanks to this idea, in just 9 months, scientists were able to collect data from an area of over 150,000 square meters. Moreover, seals provided information from ocean areas inaccessible to ships. Although this method may seem like exploitation of animals, the sensors do not negatively impact the seals' lives. It may seem strange, but according to recent studies by scientists, the western part of Antarctica is actively rising. To obtain data on the uplift of rocks in this part of the continent, specialists used 6 GPS sensors installed near the Amundsen Antarctic Station. It was found that the uplift rate is 41 mm per year, a record. The fast-rising regions above sea level are considered to be Iceland and Alaska, but their annual rise rate averages 20 mm, which is half as much as in Antarctica. Scientists believe that this growth is due to the melting of ice. When the pressure on the bedrock weakens, it gradually rises. Experts estimate that in the next 100 years, the uplift rate will increase by 2.5. 3 times accordingly, the rock will rise by 8 meters above the West Antarctic ice sheet, and this could stop its destruction. In 1995, an unusual photograph was taken over the southern part of the British Antarctic Territory. It features remarkable ice blocks that resemble cubes, earning the photo the name Ice Sugar Cubes. In 2017, it was digitized and presented at the Royal Society's annual scientific photography competition, unanimously winning the jury's approval. Public interest in the ice cubes sparked curiosity about their origin, with some even claiming they were made by extraterrestrials. Due to the heightened attention, glaciologist and lead scientific researcher at the National Snow and Ice Data Center, Ted Scambos, decided to explain their nature. According to him, fast-moving massive ice blocks become depleted and develop horizontal cracks. As they continue moving, new perpendicular cracks form, leading to the large ice block dividing into many smaller cubes. Thus, nature itself is the creator of these cubes, with no extraterrestrial involvement. Orcas are very intelligent predators. When they realize that they can't handle prey alone, they form a group and develop a real hunting strategy. Several researchers in Antarctica witnessed such behavior in orcas. The predators spotted a solitary seal on a small drifting iceberg. The four orcas understood that their prey was safe for the moment. Waiting for the seal to jump into the water was pointless, as it knew there was a group of predators nearby. Climbing onto the iceberg was also not an option for the orcas, so they came up with a brilliant plan. They started swimming synchronously towards and away from the iceberg, creating waves and hitting the surface from below to knock the prey off. Eventually, the seal was knocked off the iceberg and found itself in a hopeless situation. Such teamwork demonstrates just how intelligent these marine animals are. During one of the expeditions on South Georgia Island, National Geographic researchers spotted a penguin whose coloration was completely different from that of its kind. Instead of black feathers, its body was adorned with light brown and pale yellow feathers. This bird is not the only one with such coloration, but such feather color is very rare. The reason for this is not albinism, but leucism. This type of mutation involves partial or complete loss of pigmentation, but the eyes remain their normal color. The black and white coloration serves as a kind of camouflage for penguins. Thanks to the white feathers on the front of their body, they are not noticeable underwater, and thanks to the black on their back, they are almost impossible to see from above when submerged in water. Leucism occurs in penguins with a probability of about 1 in 150,000. According to scientists, this mutation does not affect the search for a mate and the ability to reproduce, but makes the individual more vulnerable and noticeable. Elephant seals appear to be lazy animals that spend most of their time sleeping. However, this is just a stereotype. Yes, elephant seals do spend a lot of time resting, but only for 5 months a year when they are on land. The other 7 months are spent in the water, actively feeding on squid and fish to build up fat reserves. Sleeping in such conditions is challenging, as elephant seals are not fish and need air to survive. Therefore, during these 7 months, these animals only sleep about 2 hours a day, which is very tiring. How do they manage to maintain such a rhythm of life and not fall asleep while swimming? It turns out, during their dives, the animals enter a state of dozing, lasting 10-20 minutes, during which they gently sink to the bottom. This discovery was made using a special cap with sensors that monitor the sleep and activity phases of the elephant seals. The deeper the animal dives, the more their brain activity slows down. Then they enter a phase of rapid sleep, lasting about 10 minutes, after which they wake up and surface to continue swimming. Thanks to modern technology, scientists have gained the ability to more thoroughly explore Antarctica, both on land and in water. Using a robot developed for studying ocean currents, a new species of anemones or actinias, growing in an inverted position from the ice, was accidentally discovered. All anemones were white in color. Their length in a contracted state was 5 to 4 centimeters, and about 12 centimeters when relaxed. Each unusual actinia had 16 tentacles on the outer ring, and about 8 longer ones on the inner ring. According to Scott Borg, head of the Antarctic National Science Foundation, this discovery was sensational, as this is the only known species of upside-down anemones. Scientists are amazed by this finding, but at the same time, they do not understand how these actinias managed to create holes at the bottom of the shelf glacier and remain there, given that the surface of the glacier is constantly melting. In addition to actinias, inside the Ross ice shelf, scientists also discovered an unknown fish swimming in an inverted position, many bristled worms, crustaceans, and an unknown cylindrical organism. The results of this study once again demonstrated how little we know about Antarctica. Tracking penguins is an important task for scientists studying the ecosystem of Antarctica. This method allows them to gather data on changes in flora and fauna on the continent caused by global warming. Penguins gradually adapt to the altered conditions in their habitat. They change nesting sites and migration paths to find new, more comfortable territories. This information allows scientists to obtain data on the ecosystem. However, tracking the movement of penguins is not simple. and scientists from the British Antarctic Survey chose an effective way to do it. They used bird droppings to find the colony. To search for penguins, scientists used the modern Maxar Worldview 3 satellite, equipped with an incredibly high-resolution camera that allows the smallest landscape details to be seen in images taken from space. The specialists tried for a long time to find penguins in the photographs, but were unsuccessful. Then they noticed a huge brown spot on the snow, which turned out to be guano or bird droppings. Not far from the spot, a colony of 500 penguins was discovered. In fact, tracking penguins using such biological traces is not a novelty. Scientists have been doing this for a long time. However, a detailed study of this particular colony is not possible, as the birds are located in a remote part of Antarctica, where the air temperature drops to -70 degrees Celsius. The Loch Ness monster is known as a creature from legends. Many people have told of encounters with it, but no evidence of the monster's existence has ever been found. However, in the northern part of Antarctica, archaeologists were able to discover the remains of a huge plesiosaur, which in life resembled the Loch Ness monster in appearance. The fossilized creature amazed scientists with its size. Its body length was 11 meters, and its weight could reach 15 tons. The remains were discovered back in 1989, but due to various difficulties, the excavation had to be postponed several times. Eventually, the fossils were extracted and sent for research. Thanks to this, scientists were able to learn that this plesiosaur lived approximately 30,000 years before the extinction of all dinosaurs. Judging by the bones, it was an adult individual. Despite its impressive size, this creature had a shorter neck than other plesiosaurs. Scientists suggest that the dinosaur belonged to the genus Aristonectes, but do not rule out the fact that it may represent a new species of plesiosaurs, which is still unknown to science. In 2016, NASA scientists working in Antarctica on studying high-energy particles emanating from space discovered a fantastic anomaly: cosmic rays emerging from the Earth's interior. This completely contradicts the laws of physics. Science has long known that high-energy particles can penetrate deep into the Earth, but they can never pass through it entirely. However, this recent discovery suggested that scientists had discovered a new type of particle. The goal of the research in Antarctica was to study the interaction of neutrino particles with ice. But when underground cosmic rays were discovered, the objectives changed. Initially, scientists thought that such an anomaly could have resulted from the decay of tau neutrinos passing through the Earth's surface. However, this theory was later disproven. Currently, experts only speculate that they have encountered a new type of particles, specifically supersymmetric particles. However, this is just one of the guesses that lacks proof. The problem of environmental pollution remains a pressing issue. Oil waste has a detrimental effect on local ecosystems. Cleaning oil-polluted areas of our planet is very challenging, but a recent discovery could significantly simplify this task. On the coast of one of the peninsulas in Antarctica, scientists collected several samples of a new species of bacteria. During the study of their DNA, proteins capable of degrading hydrocarbons were discovered. This intrigued the specialists, and they decided to place the bacteria in oil products. The experiment showed that these microorganisms decompose oil. In just a couple of weeks, a significant decrease in toxin levels was observed in the polluted water. Scientists also noted that this process occurs faster if the bacteria are fed with compounds of nitrogen and phosphorus. It seems that this discovery could be an effective solution to the problem of global pollution. But it is too early to talk about the large-scale use of these microorganisms. For this, a detailed study of their behavior under various conditions is necessary. Recently, online information surfaced that Russian scientists made a sensational discovery during their research expeditions to Antarctica. Their research aimed to study a lake located deep beneath the ice. The specialists successfully drilled through the ice, but instead of a lake, they found something that shocked them: The scientists did not hide their discovery and admitted that they found unknown intelligent beings living in a thriving city. Following this discovery, a space scan of that part of the continent where these beings were found was conducted. Here is that very image. As you can see, a vast area is illuminated in red light. According to scientists, this emission indicates active life deep beneath Antarctica. Of course, such news seems fantastical and made up, but just imagine if it turns out to be true. In 2020, scientists were pleasantly surprised to find that blue whales were gradually returning to the waters of the Atlantic Ocean near the sub-Antarctic island of South Georgia. South Georgia Island is the largest island in the namesake archipelago. Now, about 20 researchers live there, and only during the summer months. But earlier, this island played a significant role in the exploration of Antarctica and was considered the center of the whaling industry. From 1904 to 1960, at least 42,000 blue whales were killed near South Georgia. Such mass killings led to the brink of extinction of blue whales. After these events, whaling was banned, and people left the island. It took 60 years for the whales to return to these waters. Fortunately, the population of this species is gradually increasing. According to the Scottish Association for Marine Science, about 80 individuals were spotted in the ocean near South Georgia. Of course, compared to the number of whales killed, this figure still raises concerns about the extinction of these marine giants. However, scientists assure that they are trying to control this situation and are confident that the population of blue whales will continue to grow. Despite the continuous development of scientific technologies, Antarctica remains a poorly studied continent, mainly due to its harsh climate. However, these conditions still do not stop scientists, and they continue to explore Antarctica. In the most inaccessible places, research has to be conducted remotely. Recently, using internet services, an unusual site was found in the eastern part of the continent. It was an oval structure with a diameter of about 120 meters. The image was published on one of the scientific websites. Scientists reported that this object could be man-made. They also believe that ancient advanced civilizations once lived in Antarctica, the existence of which is still unknown. Perhaps this finding will prove this theory. It's hard to believe, as Antarctica has never had favorable conditions for human life. Even millions of years before the emergence of the first advanced civilizations, it was dominated by perpetual frost. Even now, scientists can only stay in Antarctica for a short time, so who created this oval structure? And if it really was representatives of ancient civilizations, how did they manage to survive in such extreme conditions? Scientists will be able to answer these questions only after a detailed study of the oval structure becomes available. During an expedition in Pine Island Bay, British researchers from the Thor project noticed a rocky shore in the distance. They decided to sail closer on their vessel. The specialists were very surprised, but they managed to discover a new island, which had been hidden under the ice all this time and was not marked on any maps. The island was named Sif, after the wife of the god Thor, the goddess of family and fertility. Its area is about 200,000 square meters. The island is predominantly made of granite. After its discovery, scientists began to study satellite images. They concluded that the melting of snow on Sif Island began around 2010. Global warming causes many negative consequences, but at the same time, as glaciers retreat, new islands are being revealed. Previously unknown islands have been discovered not only in Antarctica, but also near the island of Greenland. Researchers from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution have devised an unusual way to observe a colony of emperor penguins living in Adelie Bay. For this purpose, they developed a special robot. This little helper started its work back in 2017. Its current tasks include monitoring the population, behavior, and health of the penguins, as well as transmitting data about the overall state of the ecosystem in the designated area. The consequences of global warming adversely affect the lives of penguins and other animals. Therefore, scientists monitor the preservation of various species. Unfortunately, humans cannot be present in a penguin colony, but obtaining information about what is happening is necessary. Hence, the all-terrain robot has become an indispensable tool for researchers. To make the robot an effective means of observing the penguins, it was equipped with a LiDAR of 90 centimeters height and GPS technology. It also has sensors that help track many important indicators of the entire colony and individual birds. The data collected by the robot is transmitted to the research center. With such a robot, scientists can study the impact of climate change on penguins without harming the birds themselves. Perhaps one of the most astonishing inhabitants of the Southern Ocean is the golden bristle worm, or Evlogiska gigantea. This creature is easily recognized by its shiny golden bristles. It looks very striking and is a very bloodthirsty predator. Evlogiska gigantea was discovered in 1939. To this day, this species remains little studied, as it lives in icy Arctic waters at depths of more than 600 meters. Sometimes these creatures are caught by researchers, but it is not possible to fully study their behavior in their natural environment. It is known that the average length of such a worm is 30 centimeters. On the upper part of Evlogiska, there is a mobile-toothed pharynx resembling a mouth, and many golden bristles are located along the sides of the body. Such anatomy led scientists to hypothesize that the worm hunts by suddenly protruding its pharynx. When prey is caught, it is cut with powerful teeth. The golden bristles serve as a means of movement and protection. Admittedly, this creature can be boldly called an underwater monster. Adelie penguins are small birds living in Antarctica. They average 70 centimeters in height and 5 kilograms in weight. A distinctive feature of this species is the thin white rings around their eyes. These penguins often live in colonies of 5-10 individuals and migrate long distances from March to October. Adelies are considered one of the most common penguin species, with a population of around 5 million individuals. However, ecologist Louisa Emerson reports that their numbers have been decreasing. In the last 10 years, the population has declined by 43%. This figure is indeed alarming. Scientists believe this situation is due to global warming. Penguins are struggling to find enough food and sometimes cannot feed their chicks. Therefore, a program was developed to preserve the Adelie penguin population. During this program, scientists had to admit that they had erred in their counts and that these birds are not actually facing extinction. It turns out that specialists had counted only paired individuals and did not consider that some birds lead solitary lives. Typically, solitary individuals spend most of their time in the water. Furthermore, scientists discovered that the singles had ventured out in search of territories with food, while the pairs remained at their nesting sites. These studies helped dispel suspicions about the species' disappearance, but due to global warming, penguins indeed face challenges to which they have had to adapt. The conspiracy theory about the ice wall in Antarctica is closely linked to other debunked theories, such as the flat Earth and contacts with aliens. According to this theory, Antarctica is not a continent, but a massive ice wall on a flat Earth, preventing the oceans from spilling into space. Moreover, those who believe in it think that there is an entirely different world beyond the wall. In this world, more advanced civilizations live, using the most cutting-edge technologies. It is impossible to find an entrance to this world because it is carefully guarded by a world government. Proponents of this theory claim that any information about the ice wall is carefully hidden from ordinary people. Access to Antarctica is highly restricted, and all research stations there are just a cover. Undoubtedly, this theory has received no evidence and, on the contrary, we all know that the Earth is round and everything mentioned above simply cannot exist on our planet. The Halley 6 research station, located on the Brunt ice shelf, is designed for year-round habitation by scientists. However, since the end of 2022, It continues to operate without human presence during the Antarctic winter. In recent years, scientists have been alarmed by the appearance of cracks in the glacier, which have been growing annually. Therefore, it was decided to evacuate the station's staff annually during the Arctic winter. While other stations cease their activities when unstaffed, Halley 6 continues to operate. The station's tasks include climate, ozone, and space weather measurements, all conducted without human intervention. Scientists aptly nicknamed Halley 6 the Ghost Base. Such operation became possible thanks to an autonomous energy system powering the scientific equipment. The main element of Halley 6 is a micro-turbine embedded inside a temperature-controlled container. It enables the station to function autonomously for 136 days a year under the extreme conditions of Antarctica. And that's all from me. If you liked this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. Your activity is the best reward for me. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Bye.